Hello, and welcome to the StandPoint. As always, we have an exciting program for you today. It is exceptional. It will be a bit emotional, but trust me, we're here to learn and understand this journey called life. Ups and downs. Not all of us are born with a silver spoon or golden spoon or even wooden spoon. Some of us are born without a spoon anyway. But hey, when life gives you lemons, they say you learn how to make lemonade. But sometimes you need someone to even teach you how to make the lemonade. So today we are going to hear the stories of 3 single mothers. And some of them are in the audience as well. But the 3 of them will be on the panel. Different backgrounds, but they are all survivors. So we call them the survivors. Today we get to meet the survivors. Well, let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. Philia Crossland Designs made the dress for me. Makeup and my hair by Inshilo, the one and only Inshilo. They are at Kolebu, not too far from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I mean, when you get around there, just ask for Inshilo. And of course, you find their numbers scrolling on the screen as well. Get in touch with them. They'll sort you out. Hair, makeup, nail, braids, whatever it is. You'll get it there and you'll be sorted out. I say thank you to Paba Cosmetics for the makeup products and my beads by Sun Beads and All. They do all. Beautiful beads for all occasions. We take a break. When we come back, we get to meet the survivors. You're welcome to the StandPoint.
Water gives life. Water is life. Enjoy the pure, refreshing taste of Awake purified drinking water, which comes in a uniquely designed bottle with a lemon green tap. Water is your perfect way to stay hydrated. And remember, for every bottle you buy, an amount will be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center, Ghana. Awake purified drinking water. One for life.
For bulk purchase, contact 0262 351 251.
Okay. Welcome back to the StandPoint. If you just joined us today, we meet some survivors. I call them survivors because they've been through a lot, but they are still standing. That's the beauty of life. Ups and downs, and yet you keep moving. You keep standing. You keep strong. You don't give up. The tears will flow, but you're still going. Once you can take a step at a time, it is also movement. We'll meet the survivors, and I have 3 of them on the set. But before I introduce them, let me say thank you to our supporters. Gogot Yogurt. As a woman, Gogot is good for you. Kasapreko Royal Drinks. We also say thank you to Kasapreko Awake Purified Water. When you buy 1 bottle, 1 peswa is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Fund. So you get good quality water, you get refreshed, and you also contribute to charity and a good cause. House of Foods, Auntie Vera, I just love her to bits. And Cake Technique as well. Yacht cleaning services make sure that our environment is clean. In the studio, I have some ladies. They are models and gentlemen too. They come from an organization known as Delish Modeling Agency. Welcome to the studio. Oh, I nearly forgot. Models don't clap. They just, Well, to the set, I have 3 amazing young women. Been through it, still going through it, but still standing with a smile on their faces. Next to me, I have Ruby Ekwefriye. She is a virtual marketer, contract cook, and a secretary. She does it all. Oh, yes. Versatile woman. Welcome to the StandPoint. And when you're coming, what food did you bring me? Okay. Next to Ruby, I have my sister from another mother. She is Irene Asamoah Siao. She's a hospitality and facility management consultant and second vice chairperson of Ablekuma North Constituency, NPP. Welcome to the StandPoint.
Thank you.
Good to see you. And next to Ruby, I have Eva Vera Tetefio. She's a medical student at the Accra College of Medicine. Welcome to the StandPoint.
Thank you.
You're all looking very lovely.
Thank you.
How many kids do you have, Ruby?
3.
3. Irene?
I have 3 myself.
3. And then
I have 1.
you have 1. How old is your child?
5.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Boy. Irene?
I have 3 beautiful girls.
3 girls. Okay. And Ruby?
2 boys and a girl.
2 boys. Oh, you also want 2 boys and a girl, eh? We are see your way. How has it been, Eva?
It's
Being a single mother.
It's been challenging. Having to not only think about yourself, but of a young one who is in the world that you've been the channel through which he came into this world with, and having to consider every action you take before you do anything, because his life could also be affected. But it's been a humbling experience, and I'm excited about it.
You're excited about it?
I'm excited about it.
So, but how come you're a single mother?
So, after everything, his father and I realized we weren't compatible anymore, and we decided to move on with our lives. Yeah.
And is his father in his life?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
I decided not to take that out of his life. It's okay if we are not together. He doesn't have any issue with his father, so I shouldn't deny him of having a relationship with his father. Yeah.
Right, so he's there, contributes everything.
Yes, please, he
does
does.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to how it came to pass
Sure.
that you have a 5-year-old. But Ruby, how has it been?
Difficult, but exciting and humbling, So we take it one day at a time.
If it's exciting, why did you become so depressed? You became suicidal and you took it on Facebook. Maybe Mebo.
Okay, that was I think for the first time, it was the lowest point in my life to actually go on Facebook. And the Facebook thing, to clear the air, was basically for me to talk about what I was going through, but I couldn't find my voice. So it was me drinking. I took to alcohol. I took solace. within that period of time. And it went wrong, which I don't think I'll ever do that again.
How do you feel after that?
I've
Looking
been
back.
strong, and I'm stronger. So I had people try to throw me, and those who knew how it felt gave me the support and strength to carry on. So
How did you become a single mother of 3?
a gradual process. I'll break it into 3. Personally, from a broken home, and a stepfather who wasn't a father, role model in quotes. So,
Did your
and
stepfather ever try to abuse you?
he was abusive.
He was abusive.
Yeah. Then the educational side was no sexual education came from anywhere. So I was left to figure out things on my own. And thirdly, experience.
Before we get to the third, what kind of relationship did you have with your mother?
My mother was okay, like every other mother. You could talk to her on certain things, but definitely not sex.
Did you ever tell her about how abusive your stepfather was to you?
She knew.
She knew. Okay. And
She
where
knew.
was your father? That's another story.
An irresponsible one. So he was in Tema, but I had to go see him once a while. He wasn't in my life like a father should be.
Did you grow up a happy child?
No.
So you tried to find solace in other people?
Mostly the opposite sex.
So do you think they took advantage of you?
Not really. Not really. Coming to the first pregnancy, it was someone who, I liked music. I'm still a music person, so he owned a studio. And back in SHS, he was the one who was contacted to come play our entertainment shows. So
Right.
we got closer. He was a cousin to a friend of mine, a senior friend of mine. So on vacations, on weekends, I'll go to the studio, watch people come record their music demos and all that. So we got close. That was when it happened. And it wasn't rampant. It was just once or twice. Then the pregnancy came in.
How old were you?
15.
15.
Yeah.
You were young. Okay. Then after that, so your first child is around 14, 15?
Yeah, 14.
14 years.
Yeah.
And then the second and third one is with also another,
No, the same one for the second.
the same one for the second.
Yeah.
And then,
The third was different after the
okay.
2 boys.
But did he take responsibility
Yeah,
for both?
he did.
He's still in their lives?
Yeah.
He still takes care of them?
Yeah.
And the third one?
They actually live with him now.
They live with him now. Okay. And the third one?
The third one, that is not in the country, but he does the needful as and when he has to.
Irene, sounds familiar, eh?
Very, very. Well, I would say I have been through an adventurous, struggling, challenging life. Fortunately, unfortunately for me, I have 3 girls. So you can imagine me being the father figure and the mother as well. It's been tough. Sometimes I feel very sorry for them because I feel like I'm putting so much pressure on them, but it's also because I have been through so much and I wouldn't want them to go through same. So I try to straighten them in a very harsh way sometimes. Sometimes I regret, other times I feel good about it. It hasn't been easy. Unfortunately for me, okay, the thing is I have a daughter.
Yeah. I was going to come to that.
Yes,
But one is your biological.
One is my biological daughter.
Yeah.
One is my brother's daughter. I took her at the age of 9 months.
Okay.
She came into my life even before I had mine.
Okay.
And then the third, I got her from my mother. My mother, she's more or less a relative. My mother, took her at the age of 4 years, 2 years after she died. So I took her as my daughter as well. And honestly, I have no regrets. They've been a good blessing in my life. It hasn't been easy because for my daughter, her father was there at the early stages of...
You were married?
Yes, I
You
was
got
married. Yes,
Yeah,
I
you
got married.
Yes.
I got married. Initially, well, before I got married, my husband was very supportive because I went through a lot before coming to Ghana and then meeting him, so he was there for me. But at some point, I realized that no, there were so many reasons why I got those, caring and, lovely reception from him. After we got married, we had our daughter. Then, things started changing. It was a whole lot of issue from one issue to another. We ended up, separating. And then he just walked away without caring about his child, how we're faring and all of that. But I didn't really care because in any case, from the onset, I feel like I wouldn't want to say the breadwinner because he was there at some point, but I was the one running around hustling and struggling. So
let me take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about your hustle because you have hustled, my sister.
I have.
You have really hustled.
I have.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. But remember, you're watching The Standpoint. This program is also aired on ABN TV, which is on Sky Channel 195 across Western Europe, parts of Canada and Asia, and also on Virgin TV Channel 842 in UK. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Oval. Make sure you visit our Facebook page, like our page, follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. And of course, our YouTube channel. Never ever fail to subscribe and then go and have a review of all the programs. We'll be back.
I'm a beneficiary of the Girl in Need Foundation. Some time ago, there was no hope for me to go to school, but through the Girl in Need Foundation, I was able to complete my secondary education.
I quite remember when we completed JHS, things became very, very tough. But with the help of God and the help of this foundation, which is the Girl in Need Child Foundation, now we are who we are today.
And this foundation has really helped me. So I'm pleading with you that you help with any amount you have.
Please give something out. Donate at least 1 cedi for a girl. Will change one's life.
Remember, your 1 cedi can touch a life out there, can make impact in the life of somebody.
Welcome back to The Standpoint. Yes, we are still listening to the stories of the survivors. And again, I say thank you to GTP for my cloth. This is Safwa. They call it Safwa. This is the one I'm wearing. And my dress was made for me by Ophelia Crossland Designs. Makeup and hair by Inshilo. And Paba Cosmetics gave us the makeup product. My Beats by Sun Beats and all. We are so grateful to all of them. Now, back to you, Irene. Would you say that you got into the marriage because of the things you were going through in the past?
I think I really did, because I would say that, I've always had God as my protector and my guardian, but then I feel like he was my savior at some point of time when I needed someone to be there for me. Because I remember when I came into the country, I had no one. I had my family, obviously, but I come from, let me just say, I come from a large family, and a good one for that matter. But, so one would say, then why did you have to go through all that? But it's so different. My family is my husband, my children. Those are my family. Extended families don't come in. So it was like that. And I wasn't fortunate. Unfortunately for me, my mother was never really there for us, me and my siblings. We never even knew her as our mother until we got to our teenage, years. It was always our grandparents. And I'll tell you, I mean, they got the support from my uncles at some point, but from a certain time of our lives, it was tough and difficult, and they went through so much for us. It got
That's
to
your grandparents?
My grandparents.
Okay.
It got to a time their children were like, what the hell? Why do they have a mother? Why do they have fathers? And then the oldies are the ones, struggling and hustling to take care of them. Let's send them to their parents. My sister, my late sister, she's late now, and my senior brother, they decided not to go, be with our mother, but I was the youngest, and I felt like, what, it would be lovely to go live with your mother. So they sent me and shipped me to Nigeria because she lived in Nigeria.
At that time, you didn't know anybody in Nigeria?
No.
You hadn't been to Nigeria before?
Yes, we have another family in Nigeria, another big family in Nigeria. So, my uncle there said, look, send this girl, let me send her to her mother, so that she'll learn to love and be with her children or her child. But it didn't go that way, because the moment my mother saw me, that even put her off. She didn't want to have anything to do with me, and she put me through hell. Probably then she was hoping when I go get all that experience, I would want to go back. But it didn't happen like that. But to God be the glory, I was able to go to, finish my secondary school, did a little bit of my university there. But at some point, even my Nigerian family, because of what my mother was doing.
Of course, if your own mother doesn't want you.
Exactly. It kind of put everybody off. Probably not because they didn't want me or love me, but just for her to have learned to love her children, because she was always expecting others to do things and love her, but she wasn't giving that back to her kids. So, I was abandoned in Kano, the northern part of Kano. And you can imagine those days, they used to have the Christian Muslim riots. You would be walking around seeing dead bodies, burnt bodies in cars and all of that. She literally abandoned me. I remember there was a time when she's traveling back to Ghana, she leaves me there without caring whether someone else
You're still hurting.
My mother is late. I love her so much, but these things I can't forget. These things I really, really cannot forget, because I still feel like there's so many things that have happened in my life and I blame her for them. I just want to say that I am lucky for the things and experiences I had in Nigeria, especially in Kano. I should have gone into drugs or prostitution, but God always favored me. He always sent me a destiny helper. I always got somebody to come to my aid and to take care of me. I mean, like in Kano, I went to one of the best schools, like Wesley Girls, in the northern Kano, some faraway local government where, the girls were all Muslims and I was a Christian. So I was forced to learn how to speak Hausa and to study the Quran within a short period of time, because I was abused at school, even by the students. A lot happened to me. After school, I couldn't come to Lagos because they would say, stay in Kano and be with your mother. But they didn't know that I was in Kano. My mother was living elsewhere. I had got to find a place to live because I just couldn't live with my mother because she couldn't stand me. She didn't treat me well. Things like TV, I can't watch. Things like food, even milk and all that. I mean, look, I'm not embarrassing my mother on TV. But I'm just
a fact.
Yes.
And this is not just your story. There are people in such situations, and it's still going on.
Things will rather get spoiled than for me to eat, and I went through all this.
Did your mother ever tell you why she treated you like that?
I wish I knew up till date. I wish I knew. And there was actually a lot that happened that made her children feel like we're a stigma, because your mother was like this, your mother did this. So the family kind of don't have so much respect for, these children, because, sometimes when your uncle or auntie or whoever is angry would refer you to your mother, and it used to hurt.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel that it affected my senior brother the more. My late sister died because she also, out of depression and frustration, started drinking, you know, and eventually, you know, she had this problems and had cancer and then died. And I saw all these things happening.
But well, they should look at you now. You're a consultant. You are the second vice.
Oh, yeah, I told myself that with no disrespect, I love my family. I love my uncles. My uncle in Nigeria, he's been a father and a wonderful person to me. But I thank God, because all the things that happened to me in the past, everything I went through, even the humiliations and the treatment I got from some family members, actually made me feel strong. Sometimes 3 square meals a day is difficult, but I tell you that you are living in a comfortable home. People actually envy the family, the kind of family you come from, because they have the names. I mentioned and you'll be so shocked and you open your mouth, you know. And I found this man from nowhere who came to my, you know, aid, and then said, I saw me somewhere, was introduced by a friend, and then I just said, look, my friend said, Irene, wait there, mom, what they are playing on in auntie, because at the end of the day, we'll buy and one fashion and see asusono obetimi abwa. So go into the relationship, and that was how it started. So it wasn't really love at first sight, or you know, it grew at some point of time, but it's because I needed help. I needed someone to be there for me financially, you know,
and emotionally as well.
And emotionally.
Wow, you've been through a lot. Yes. You've been through a lot, but you're a survivor.
I am a survivor.
You're a survivor.
I am a survivor.
Let me. I'll come back to you. But Eva Vera, during the time of how old were you when you got pregnant?
23.
23 years. You know, when you were in school as well.
No, I was just out of the university.
You were out of the university, and how did your parents take it?
It was the biggest blow I could ever give them as a young girl, and my greatest struggle was not even with my parents and my family, because yes, it had happened. You've gotten pregnant. I mean, we can't kill you, neither can we advise you to abort the child. But I had to deal with myself. I had to forgive myself, and that was something I couldn't do. It's just this year that I realized that I finally started to forgive myself for everything that happened 6 years back. And it's not because as a young girl from senior high school, we had high hopes. I mean, back in those days, I was serious with SU, would sign the purity vows, and I had them in my books. So I kept it to myself that I was going to stay chaste till I get married. And here I was, back in the university, you were also serious with the things of God, getting into political positions and all that. And then you go and find yourself pregnant. I couldn't forgive myself.
She's used the word again. She said, when I was chatting on you said word, and I got myself pregnant. And what did I tell you?
Tell yourself you're a foolish girl.
Thank you.
And I'm saying it. I'm a foolish girl.
You're a foolish girl. Thank you. You didn't get yourself pregnant.
Yes.
Yes. It took 2 people.
Yeah,
to get pregnant. Yeah.
So that's how it was a depressing moment for me. Not because my family was really disappointed, but because I was disappointed in myself. And I also used to have the suicidal tendencies, but God, like Auntie Irene has just shared, has been my greatest support. Aside my family, my church has been like awesome. My friends have been very wonderful.
Your church didn't throw you out when you were pregnant?
No,
Henry. They didn't call you in front?
No, I mean, it was the biggest breakthrough for me as a young woman then. I was then a serious usher. I was then a leader in my cell group. All I had to do was stop ushering and then let go of my leadership role in the cell group. But I wasn't given a chair to sit on. I wasn't blacklisted. I was rather given love. I was rather comforted. So whatever I faced.
Where do you go to church?
Christ Cosmopolitan Incorporated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What's your pastor's name?
Pastor Obedo Binyade.
Okay. Yeah. God bless him.
In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
They were. It got to a point. My mom asked me, "What's about you?" Because the support I got from my church is what took me through the early phases. Because when I found out in the 5th month, and I mean, although in Ghana you can terminate a pregnancy at 28 weeks, or what some of us will call 6 months, I just couldn't do it, and my church was not ready to see me doing that. And then you ask yourself this question: so we don't want to save faces and abort so that everybody thinks you're a good girl, or rather decide to keep this life because you don't know why God gave it to you at this point in your life. So, well, I just embraced it. I decided to going through the moments of depression that made me stay in Kumasi for quite some time because I didn't want to come back to Accra and face anybody. But after a while...
Did your parents know that you were going through a depression?
No.
They didn't know?
No.
Did you seek help?
No, I never did. I gave up on everything. Nothing mattered to me. My friends used to go like, Eva, you've lost your beauty. And I told them, well, I don't care. I don't care about life. Life can throw anything to me. I mean, this is my biggest blow for me as a woman. I don't think I can take anything again. But
did you have your baby with you in those times?
Yes, I did.
So what kind of relationship did you have with the baby at that time?
It was sweet. I was
so you were loving the baby, you were caring for him, and yet you were going through depression.
Yeah. I went through 2 years of depression. 2 terrible years of depression.
Did you take to alcohol?
No, I never took to alcohol. I never smoked. But I got more into myself. I neglected myself. Not that I would have a bad odor or something, but my general outlook and appearance just changed. I didn't care if I'd eaten, so long as he was okay. I didn't neglect him. That's one thing I never did. But for my personal upkeep, I wasn't really concerned. No.
We take another break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Again, I say thank you to Gogot Yogurt, Casapreco Purified Mineral Water, and Royal Drinks. Thank you to House of Foods, Cake Technique, and of course, Yep Cleaning Services, who take care of our environment. We'll be back. Okay. Welcome back to the StandPoint. The StandPoint is also aired on ABN TV on Sky Channel 195 across Western Europe, parts of Canada, Asia, and North Africa, and also on Virgin TV 842 in UK. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Over. Now, let me go to the audience and speak to another single mother, Helena Agnes Hubert. She is a teacher, and I must say thank you to her. I mean, she contributes every month to the Girl in Need Foundation. I just love you for that. Thank you. I mean, she's been my Facebook friend and daughter for some time now, but this is my first time of meeting her. Single mother of how many kids?
One.
Boy or girl?
He's a boy.
It's a boy, okay. How has life been for you?
It's been very difficult and challenging, but God has been our helper through it also.
But did you get the support of your parents?
Yes, my dad was very supportive, and he still is supportive.
Yeah, what about the children's father?
He has never been.
He's never been. Did he even accept?
Okay, from the onset, he didn't. But at a point, he came back, and then he went off again. But he never helped that much. For so many years, we've not heard from him.
So it's just you and your child?
Yes, please.
And the teaching is supporting you?
Not much, but we are managing.
You're managing. Are you hurting?
I used to be, but not anymore.
Are you sure?
Very sure.
Very sure?
Very, very sure.
Okay. All right. Now, Ruby, your boss is here. Are you shy? Former boss?
A little, but he's also been like very supportive and encouraging. So I'm glad he's here.
So at what stage would you say you are now? Because you also went through depression.
Yeah.
That's what took you to, coming to speak out.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah. I've recovered. I won't say I'm in the recovery stage. I'm okay now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You are over it.
I'm over it. I had what's his name? Psychologist.
Okay.
Talk to me for I think a month.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So you are in a relationship now?
No, I'm single now.
You're still single?
Yeah.
Okay. And searching? Or not searching?
No, not searching.
Not searching. You're off relationship now?
Nah. Because my last one was crazy. You get hopes, you get high hopes, and it gets dashed when it's time for marriage. They come up with, oh, you have kids. My mom says, you won't be the best fit for me, and problems. And I also search for, because of my kids, I have kids. My mom didn't do that, how do you call it? That assessment of the man she was bringing into my life, because I'm her firstborn, which she should have thought about him coming in to be a father to me first. Well, for me, I look out for the father figure for my daughter.
And do you believe that you can find?
Definitely.
Okay.
It's difficult, but definitely.
Okay. There are women with 6 children. They have married. I know someone,
Yeah.
6 children. She had a wedding, wore white gown. Yeah. Anyway, let me come to Irene. Coming back to Accra, meeting this man, he being supportive, the marriage breaking down. You had to do so much to keep body and soul, from cleaning to being errant person, despite your education and everything for people.
That's right. It started long ago. Well, after my divorce, and it was my secret because, people judge you based on what you do and all of that.
So you didn't tell people you were divorced?
No, not the divorce aspect, but what I did in terms of my job, how to survive. I was actually here in Ghana doing the living people do to make money outside.
You were doing living here? Yes,
I do living sometimes. I do living for kids, grown-ups. I run errands, administrative work privately, for people and all that. I also used to go to Lagos by road to buy jewelries. I'll bring them to come and sell. But I realized I wasn't so good in, doing business because sometimes, I've had... I've had good friends who have been supportive. They bring in money. But at some point of time, it's so difficult that you are even sustaining your life, yourself and your children on your capital, and then you fail. And I also realized I was very good with my administrative work and, my running errands business and all of that. So I used to do virtually everything, not the negative, things one would do to survive, but I hustle. I've really been like a woman man, construction, supervisor, coordinating jobs that men should be responsible for, and then not to talk of having bosses that will cheat you just because you don't have any other means to survive. You depend on them. I'm able to build up people's businesses, and then when all is well, they get rid of me. They pay me peanuts. I get stranded.
Did you at any point think that maybe you're a cursed child?
To tell you the truth, it's something I didn't want to say, but it's like I was asking myself, could it be that it's ancestral curse or I've done something? Because sometimes I'll cry and ask myself, what is it? Especially when you are able to establish something, start a business, it goes so well, and then suddenly it crumbles back and you're back to square one. Most of the time you go, the men would want to have something to do with you before they help you. So if you don't want that, you just have to walk away. You know, sometimes friends even turn their back at you and even abuse you. And why born one, born, you know, all of that. And for me, even though I have my biological daughter that I thank God for, I have my I have my niece, my other child who comes from a different mother and not even so much of a closer relative, is the best thing that can happen to me. That child, oh my goodness, I know that I'll live to see happiness because she'll be there to take care of my own biological daughter and my niece. She is such a blessing into my life. She has been my pillar. And she was a young child. The encouragement she gives to me. You know, after my marriage, I went into an abusive relationship. The man used to beat me up, abuse me physically and verbally. And she saw greater part of it. And because of my hustling, I had to send my two other girls to school, to a boarding school. So they have been in boarding schools from a very tender age, you know. And she used to see, and then she can come into my room and tell me that, look, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine for her age at that time. And then one day she came to me and she just said, Ma, Papa, Janamonko. Another time she said, Ma, yam bunibi.
I love her.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. She's just so wonderful.
You know, it's tough. You know, Irene, I think one of these days I need to do one-on-one with you, and we can really go deep into some of the things you've been through and what women can learn from it. But Eva Vera, what would you like to say to young women out there who are Christians, who have dreams, who are, let's say, because I have my daughters here who are Muslims as well, so who are religious and want to live right and believe, travel the journey, and then they get to a point where their dreams seem to have been shattered. They think that they have messed up. They have failed God. I don't know how you can fail God, but they feel they have failed God. And so they get into this situation that you found yourself in. How can they put themselves together and get back on track, get back to school, get back to learn a trade or a skill, and to put your life back on road? Because you had completed uni when this happened. And after how many years you are back pursuing your course in medicine? Yeah.
Well, truth be told, everything begins from you. I heard the saying that ships don't sink because of the water that gets in, that surrounds them, but because of the water that gets in. So nobody can make you feel less of yourself unless you allow them to make you feel less of yourself. Mistakes happen. There's no clear cut to life. We all wish to follow a straight path, but sometimes things get a bit rough and then we tend to bend from the curve. But it doesn't mean God has forsaken you. He never does. As a Christian, the Bible says God doesn't draw away from us. We rather draw away from him because we think we've sinned so badly, God doesn't want us. But even in your sin, God still calls you and then he wants you back. And you don't have to give up on your dream. You having a child isn't the end. It's not a terminal disease. It's life. It's joy. Embrace it. When you're able to embrace what God has given to you, you would find the strength to go through it and then even exceed your expectation. So I'm urging all of you, don't find yourself in that situation for starters. But if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can go up high, achieve all your dreams, be the greatest person you ever thought you could be. And your strength always lies from you, not from without you. Always believe in that.
Are you in a relationship now?
No.
Hey. The way it went, no. Okay, all right. Ruby, what about you? What advice do you have for young ladies out there?
First and foremost, I would like to send a message to parents first. In choosing a spouse after having kids should be paramount. Not only you, the mom, because you're not single again. You have an offspring. So in choosing a partner, you should put that into consideration. 2, when the man comes in, your daughter, your child tells you something is wrong, you should pay attention. And when your child comes home with pregnancy, for me, I was ridiculed, like crazily. You know, she brought in people of high.
Your mother?
My mom. She's a teacher, so she's not an illiterate, but I think she was inexperienced about how to handle this, and I was ridiculed in front of them. And not that they took care of me after the pregnancy. I had to fend for myself again. So that found me going back to the same person, and it happened again. So, but after all these, you should still take up the mantle to be a better person for yourself, for your kids, for the world in general, because people look up to us.
Right. Irene, how do we break the cycle? How are you going to make sure that none of your children go through what you went through?
Thank you. That's a very important and a good question. I just want to say that I haven't, in any circumstances, any moment or any day, lashed out at them, you know, as a revenge tactics, or based on what I've been through, use that against them. I've shown them so much love and care.
Sometimes you are hard on them.
Yes, especially when I'm afraid the men and, you know, youngsters out there and I've been able to train them in such a way that I've also made them understand a lot about life, and I've been playing with them. I talk to them about sex, men, everything. So now,
do they know what you've been through?
Some bit of it. The ones I feel they should know, they know about it, you know, which I feel is very important because they are also girls, you know, growing up. So they know a lot about it. But I also realize because I've kept them indoors, they don't go out, no any form of entertainment, because I feel like they have everything at home. It's making them quite timid when they go.
Release them.
I know, I know. Well, they are getting there. I mean, some of them are just ready to get into the university and all that. So hopefully, I know they understand me and they understand where.
Do they know that you're a big woman now?
Oh, they do, because during the elections, you know, when the electoral commission, when they were counting, you know, the votes and everything, they were just standing there. They had to recount mine because I thought I had, you know, lost, and I was virtually crying even before they announced it, and they were all there. So they've been supportive. They've been my shield and everything. They've been supportive. I thank God.
I'll be back with a bit of me. Life. This journey we call life. It's amazing, you know. It's amazing because it had so many twists and turns. We can never understand until we get to the finishing line. So along the line, whatever comes your way, don't allow people to, as they say on social media, troll you with it. You see, as Ghanaians, we love to stigmatize things we don't understand. We see people, we hear stories about people, and we don't know where they are coming from. We don't know what they've been through. You don't know how they got there. You don't know what they are going through. We've become such mean people that we use people's difficult and painful experiences to laugh at them, to tease them, to insult them. How did we become such a people? None of the Nancy stories that we have teach us that. But we've become now more civilized, more Western than the Westerners. And one thing, that I find interesting is that we are such peace-loving hypocrites. Sometimes our stories are worse than the ones that we are laughing at. But I'm sure you've heard this over and over again from me. My father taught me something. The best form of revenge is to succeed. The best form of revenge is to succeed. Let them say, let them do whatever they want to do. Keep moving. Woman, keep moving. If it's not killing you, don't stop moving. One day at a time. One step at a time. You will get there. You may starve sometimes. You may have to even beg for food sometimes, but you will get there. Good times will come. The most important thing you need is to be alive. Once you have life, your situation can change. It can turn around like that. One day, your pain will be your power. Your sadness will be your story. You know, they said there's no great motivator who doesn't have a story to tell. What you're going through right now, what people are laughing at you with or about, what people are using against you now, one day it will be your testimony and it will impact somebody. It will change somebody's life and it will take you to bigger and higher places. Mark my words. Only and only if you don't give up. So please, never ever forget to go on your knees every time. Every time. To commit it all and surrender it all to God. I keep telling you, as for me, I'm a woman with super crazy faith in God. He's given us wisdom. Let's apply it. Let's be careful. The world is no more nice. It's not everybody we can trust. But we need to learn to speak up. Speak to somebody. Talk to somebody. Don't die in silence. Depression is a killer. Don't get depressed. Do not get depressed. I remain yours and only yours, Ohineye Gifty Auntie. You can get me on Facebook, Nana Dansua, Ohineye Nana Dansua, or Ohineye Gifty Auntie, or on Instagram. I'm ever ready to talk to you. Okay? See you same time next week. Bye for now.
It's quite surprising to see that in Ghana here we have a lot of single mothers who are struggling, and I'm very sure this episode serves as something really educative for them to rely on. The panelists really did very well in bringing out their ideas about this issue.
This program has been very eye-opening, has been educative, has made me learn a lot from the fact that people don't tell you what you are going through does not mean that everything is well with them. And then it helps me appreciate the struggles of our mothers.
I'd like to say to everyone who is going through this sort of pain or problems or issues, it shouldn't step them back. They should push on and they should keep on fighting, and definitely they're going to achieve what they want to achieve in this life.